get. Hello YouTubers and welcome to another episode. We've had a lovely warm up for weights this morning. Getting some 400s in, rate 50, oh yeah! But now, let's get on to working on those legs. And with taking the dogs a little bit of a walk post weight session, a little bit of quad, no not quad, the opposite of quad, the other side, the glute focus, because we figured that I basically only squat with my quads. So we're trying to figure out why. Maybe it's a case of, as a car passes, maybe it's a case of, is it because I have weak glutes, I don't use them very much, or is it because there's an imbalance somewhere? We're trying to figure that out. And that's one of the benefits of sort of doing your own program kind of thing. You can, okay, well, let's focus on the things that'll make you better, and that's what we're trying to do. So a little bit of, like I said, glute focusing in the gym there, and then walking the puppies, and of course fueling up, because remember, food is fuel, which I would like to make a video about soon, about sort of fueling up, whether how much I actually eat is very simple at the moment, and supplements as well. Would quite like to make a video about that. But now we're going to get Yam and Max in so they're nice and relaxed, and then get some more fuel, because food is fuel, and then head back to the gym for another ergo, which is going to be a difficult one. So let's get to it. And we've fueled up on some delicious potato and egg concoction. Now it's time to get to the gym. And we've made it to the gym. Lovely little teleportation on this lovely sunny afternoon, cutting through the cold. But we're going to hop on the erg and then I'll explain the erg that we're doing. Oh yeah! And we are 2 in of 2 minutes on, 3:30 off. The idea is, so we had the 2K on Sunday. The idea today is to play around a little bit with the rate, keep an eye on the heart rate, making sure it's not skyrocketing, making sure it's not too low, in the right zone for us. So for me, around 170. So after this next one, should be around there. But with 2 minutes on and 3:30 off, it means you should be able to push pretty hard in the 2 minutes and be almost recovered for the next one, to keep on at the very least holding the split you've just done. But now I'll see you at the end of the workout. Will you? So you may think it's all went quite well. 31, 30, 30, 28, 29, 29, 29. Then you go down a bit more. Oh, I thought it was average. A 134 for one of them, turns out it's a 130, almost 137. So a mega blow in the third last one. But we're experimenting, like I said at the start, with the rate. Started off sort of 35, bit low, and climbed up, and then went straight up to 42 and dropped 2.5 splits. And it felt really good, although it started to burn about 7 later, and then dropped 10 splits. Absolutely fantastic. But now, as always, after session, time to fuel up, because remember, food is fuel, woohoo! And we've made it back to the house after And we've finished up at the gym post 2 minutes on, 3:30 off. And like I said at the start of the erg, the big rest should, in theory, give you enough time that you can do quite close to, not max effort, but quite a high effort, and be able to reproduce said effort for the whole duration of the workout. So we did 15 reps of 2 minutes with 3:30 rest, and I got to 12 and then had a bit of a wobble there, but it was a positive in that the rate, I was able to experiment with the rate, and as Yam and Max want to play, I was able to keep pushing through the middle parts of that workout. So like the reps 7 to 12, the heart rate was pushing high and it was hard, but I wasn't blowing until I actually did blow, rather than sort of being, so it was in the pain cave for a long time is what we're trying to say, rather than only just taking a step in and then blowing up. So the dealing with higher heart rates is improving, dealing with higher rates. It's interesting with the higher rates, like I spoke about higher rates last week, about how to rate higher, and in the 2K I averaged 39, or the prep piece averaged 39, and then today I think it was averaged 38 or so, and we're just trying to sort of see how I operate, or what rate I operate at best. So experimenting, like today, had 15 opportunities to try a different rate, and it seemed that right now the rate helped me get the split that bit more, whereas if I dropped the rate down a little bit, so say 35, 36, even a little bit lower, 34, just felt quite heavy and the legs got very stingy very quickly, rather than if I kept the rate up a little bit above sort of 37, 38, then it meant that it was more of a focus on the cardiovascular system, the lungs and the heart, and I could push through that way rather than push through it sort of muscular endurance way, which might be an issue that I'll be looking to improve on. Is it a muscular endurance problem, or is it an issue with certain body parts? We've been looking at the way I row, the way I lift, and just the differences between the two, and what muscle groups I'm using and what muscle groups I'm not using, which is a whole other video to talk about, and what muscle groups you should be using to row, or when you are rowing, and what makes it most efficient. But right now, and same with any individual, if you have your own individual, so you have your own way of being efficient, and for me it seems a little bit higher rate at the moment works for me that little bit better, because there seems to be a little bit of an imbalance in, so the lungs and the heart are at a higher level than the muscles, if that makes sense. So I can push a bit higher. So say if you think about it in purely just in rate, I can take lighter strokes more rather than taking heavier strokes for less, which is also, we spoke about doing weights for rowing and for any sport really. When you increase your strength, you are in theory able to do more powerful strokes for longer, because they become easier when you become stronger. So that's part of the reason why we're doing a lot of weights as well. So hopefully I can combine the ability to rate higher and make those strokes, doesn't have to be a lot stronger, just a little bit stronger. And with the 2K on Sunday, the proof was in the pudding, if it were, that I did rate an average of 39 for the entire piece without actually blowing. So it was as if to say, okay, that is an option, and that is more than I've ever done in that, and rate wise, not so much score wise. So it's a case of, in the next few weeks, looking at the best way that I can row for the big 2K that might be coming up, whether it's rating 20 and pulling as hard as I can like it is in a half hour, whether it's rating 40 and doing similar to what I did on Sunday, or whether it's somewhere in between. That's what we're kind of experimenting with going forward. But that will be it for today's episode, Yam Squad. Hopefully you've enjoyed a little bit of a start to the week. probably that 2 minutes on, 3:30 off is that type of workout is one of my favorite workouts, as well as the 1 minute on, 1 minute off, where you are able to really push yourself and keep pushing every rep. And again, with the longer rest, you get that opportunity, or you increase the likelihood that you are able to keep pushing. But as always, Yam Squad, remember to subscribe if you haven't already, hit that like button, and we will see you in the next episode of the vlogs.